The stars shone brightly against the black of space. The human ship Endeavour moved quietly through the darkness. It was the year 2157, and humans had been traveling in space for many years now. Captain Ta-Won Kim sat in his command chair on the bridge. He was a tall man with short black hair and serious eyes. He had fought in the First Contact War 15 years ago. Now he led this colony ship with 300 people on board. They were heading to a new human settlement on a planet called New Hope. "Captain, we will reach the neutral zone in 10 minutes, said Lieutenant Jun Lee. She was the first officer, always steady and calm. "Thank you, Lieutenant," said Captain Kim. "Keep us on course." The neutral zone was the space between human territory and alien territory. Humans shared this part of the galaxy with many alien races. Most of these aliens belonged to something called the Galactic Concord. This was a group of 17 different species who had joined together long before humans reached the stars. The Concord aliens did not like humans much. They thought humans were too violent and primitive. They allowed humans to have some planets, but they watched them carefully. "All systems normal, Captain," reported Chief Engineer Min Ho Kang from his station. He had worked with Captain Kim for 7 years. Engines running at full power. The bridge was quiet. Officer Hannah Park sat at the communication station, listening to the radio signals from space. She was young, only 26, but very good at her job. Suddenly, she sat up straight. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," she said. Her fingers moved quickly over her control panel. "It's a distress signal." Captain Kim turned to her. "From where? Is it one of our ships?" Hannah shook her head. "No, sir. It's not on any human frequency." She listened carefully through her headset. I think it's Vicarian." Everyone on the bridge became very still. The Vicarians were one of the oldest and most powerful races in the Concord. They had blue skin that sparkled in the light, 4 arms, and were known for their advanced technology. They were also known for hating humans more than any other alien race. "Are you sure?" asked Science Officer Da-Song. He moved to Hannah's station and looked at her screen. "Yes," said Hannah. "The pattern matches Vicarian emergency codes. They're in trouble." Captain Kim stood up. "Can you tell what kind of trouble?" Officer Da studied the signal. "The message says their ship has a major hull breach. That means there's a big hole in their ship. Space is getting in." He looked up with worry in his eyes. "Their life support systems are failing. Without help, they will all die in about 6 hours." "Where are they?" asked Captain Kim. "In the Nix Nebula," said Hannah. The Nix Nebula was a cloud of colorful gas in space. It was beautiful but dangerous, and it was in Vicarian territory. Lieutenant Jun Lee stepped forward. "Captain, we can't go there. The Vicarians have made it very clear that human ships are not allowed in their space. Ever. They would see it as an act of war." Captain Kim nodded slowly. "I know the rules, Lieutenant." He walked to the front of the bridge and looked out at the stars. Everyone waited for his decision. After a long moment, he turned around. "Plot a course for the Nix Nebula. Maximum speed." "Sir." Lieutenant Lee looked shocked. "The Vicarians. I know who they are," said Captain Kim firmly. "I also know that there are people dying out there. I don't care what color their skin is or how many arms they have. They need help." "Captain," said Officer Day, "the Vicarians have 4 warships for every one of ours. If they decide this is an attack." "Then they decide," said Captain Kim. "But I will not ignore a call for help. Not ever." He sat back down in his chair. "Send a message to Earth Command. Tell them what we're doing and why. Tell them I take full responsibility." The bridge crew looked at each other. They knew the danger, but they also trusted their captain. "Course set for the Nix Nebula," said Lieutenant Lee. Her voice was steady again. "Travel time. 4 hours at maximum speed." "Thank you, Lieutenant," said Captain Kim. "Officer Park, try to contact the Vicarian ship. Tell them help is coming." Hannah nodded, and began sending messages. After a few minutes, she shook her head. "No response, Captain. Their communications might be damaged." "Keep trying," said Captain Kim, "and notify Medical Officer Sun Choi to prepare for possible alien casualties." As the Endeavour changed direction and sped up, Captain Kim called the whole crew together through the ship's speakers. "Attention all crew members. This is Captain Kim. We have received a distress call from a Vicarian vessel in the Nix Nebula. They have suffered severe damage and need immediate assistance. We are changing course to help them." He paused, knowing what he had to say next. "I must be honest with you. The Vicarians have forbidden humans to enter their territory. By helping them, we risk serious consequences. But I believe that when someone calls for help, we answer, no matter who they are or where they come from. This is what it means to be human. We will reach the Nix Nebula in 4 hours. All departments, prepare for rescue operations. That is all." Captain Kim ended the announcement and turned to see Lieutenant Lee watching him. "The crew will follow you, sir," she said quietly. "But will Earth Command support this decision?" "Probably not," said Captain Kim with a small smile. "But some things are more important than orders." In the medical bay, Officer Sun Choi received the captain's message and immediately began preparing. She had never treated a Vicarian before. She quickly reviewed everything known about their biology. Vicarians breathed a different mix of gases than humans. Their blood was purple instead of red. Their hearts were in a different place. But they could be hurt just like humans. They could die just like humans. "Prepare 4 emergency biobeds," she told her medical team. "Set up the oxygen converters for Vicarian atmosphere and review the Vicarian anatomy files." Meanwhile, in engineering, Chief Min-ho Kang checked the ship's shields. The Nix Nebula was full of radiation that could damage both the ship and its crew. The shields would protect them, but not forever. "Reinforce the forward shields," he ordered his team. "We'll need every bit of protection we can get." Back on the bridge, Captain Kim watched the stars streak by as the Endeavour raced toward danger. He thought about the Vicarians, a species that had called humans violent primitives and cosmic mistakes, a species that had tried to stop humanity from joining the galactic community, and now humans were risking everything to save them. "Officer Park," he said, "send one more message to the Vicarian ship." "Yes, Captain," said Hana. "What should I say?" "Tell them, this is the Earth Alliance ship Endeavour *. We have received your distress call and are coming to assist. Please hold on. Help is on the way." As the message went out into space, Captain Kim added quietly, "And we come in peace." The Endeavour * continued on its course, carrying its human crew toward an uncertain welcome. But they went anyway, because someone needed help. And that, as Captain Kim had said, was what being human meant. 3 hours later, Officer Park's console lit up. "Captain, I'm getting a response from the Vicarian ship." The bridge crew turned to look at her. Hannah listened closely, her expression changing from excitement to confusion. "What do they say?" asked Captain Kim. Hannah looked up, her eyes wide. "They say, humans, turn back. We would rather die than be saved by your kind." Captain Kim's face showed no emotion. He simply nodded, acknowledged their message, then tell them we're coming anyway. The Endeavour continued toward the Nix Nebula, its engines at full power, its crew determined. They were going to save lives today, whether those lives wanted saving or not. And the galaxy would never be the same. The Endeavour slowed as it reached the edge of the Nix Nebula. Through the main window, the crew could see swirls of purple and blue gas. The nebula looked like colorful clouds in space. It was beautiful, but very dangerous. "Shields at full power," reported Chief Engineer Min-ho. "But the nebula radiation is strong. We have about 90 minutes before our shields start to fail." Captain Kim nodded. "Understood. Let's find that ship quickly. Science Officer Dad worked at his station. I'm scanning for the Vicarian ship now. The nebula makes it hard to see clearly. After a minute, he pointed at his screen. There. I found it. The ship is about 20 minutes away at safe speed. On screen, ordered Captain Kim. The main screen showed a large, elegant ship. It was white and silver, with smooth curves. But now a huge hole tore through one side. Small pieces of the ship floated nearby in space. That's the Celestial Harmony *, said Lieutenant Lee. It's a Vicarian diplomatic vessel. What is it doing out here alone? We can ask questions later, said Captain Kim. Right now, we need to save lives. Officer Day, how many survivors? Day studied his readings. I detect 47 life signs. But they're weak. The ship's life support is failing faster than we thought. They may have only 2 hours left, not 6. Then we need to hurry, said Captain Kim. He pressed a button on his chair. Shuttle Bay, prepare 2 rescue shuttles. Medical team, stand by to receive injured Vicarians. Captain Kim turned to his first officer. Lieutenant Lee, you will lead the first rescue team. Take Officer Park with you. She's our best communicator. Yes, sir, said Lieutenant Lee. I'm going to, said Captain Kim, standing up. Lieutenant Lee looked worried. Sir, protocol says you should stay on the ship. Protocol also says we shouldn't be in Vicarian space, said Captain Kim with a small smile. Let's go. 20 minutes later, 2 shuttles left the Endeavour and flew toward the damaged Vicarian ship. Shuttle pilot Ji Woo-yoon carefully guided the first shuttle through the floating debris. The main docking bay is destroyed, she reported. I'll have to dock at the emergency airlock. Do it, said Captain Kim, who sat behind her. The shuttle connected to the Vicarian ship with a soft thud. The rescue team put on their helmets. The air on the Vicarian ship might be gone, or it might not be safe for humans to breathe. Remember, said Captain Kim to his team, we are guests here. Be respectful. And be careful. This ship could break apart at any time. They opened the airlock and entered the Vicarian ship. Emergency lights flashed red. The air was thin but breathable. The team checked their scanners. Life signs are coming from the central chamber, said Lieutenant Lee. This way. They walked through damaged hallways. Parts of the ceiling had fallen down. Wires hung from the walls. They had to climb over broken pieces of the ship. Finally, they reached a large door. It was partly open. Through the gap, they could see blue light. Hello, called Captain Kim. We are from the Earth ship Endeavour *. We've come to help. At first, there was silence. Then a voice answered, speaking English with a strange accent. Humans are not welcome here. Leave now. Your ship is breaking apart, said Captain Kim calmly. You have less than 2 hours before life support fails completely. Please let us help you. After a long pause, the door opened wider. The humans saw a large room filled with injured Vicarians. The aliens had light blue skin that sparkled slightly. They each had 4 arms and were taller than humans. Their faces had no noses, just breathing slits, and their eyes were large and dark. One Vicarian stepped forward. He wore a white uniform with silver marks on the shoulders. A large piece of metal had fallen on him, pinning him to the floor. Other Vicarians had pulled the metal off, but his lower body was badly hurt. I am Captain Celeris of the Celestial Harmony *, he said. His voice was cold. We do not need primitive help. Lieutenant Lee stepped forward and knelt beside him. With respect, Captain Celeris, your ship has about 43 minutes before total structural failure. Your people can hate us later, after we've saved your lives. Captain Kim spoke to the whole room. We have medical teams ready on our ship. We can treat your injured, but we need to move quickly. Many of the Vicarians looked afraid. Some looked angry, but a few nodded. We accept your help, said a female Vicarian who stood near Captain Celeris. I am First Officer Nilara. Our medical bay is destroyed. 10 of our people are too badly hurt to move without help. We brought stretchers, said Captain Kim. Let's get everyone to the shuttles. The rescue teams began helping the injured Vicarians. Some aliens refused to let humans touch them, but most accepted help. The most badly injured were carefully placed on stretchers. Captain Silaris watched with a strange look on his face. Why are you doing this? Your kind has no reason to help us. We have every reason, said Captain Kim as he helped lift a stretcher. You needed help. That's reason enough. Just then, Officer Park's communicator beeped. She listened, then turned to Captain Kim with a worried face. Sir, Engineer Minho says there's a new problem. The Vicarian power core is becoming unstable. If it explodes, both ships will be destroyed. Can we eject their core? Asked Captain Kim. No, said Officer Park. The ejection systems are offline. Captain Silaris struggled to sit up. Our power core uses technology you cannot understand. If it is becoming unstable, there is nothing you can do. Save yourselves and leave us. That's not an option, said Captain Kim. He thought for a moment, then spoke into his communicator. Engineer Minho, can we transfer their power core to our cargo bay? Use our shields to contain the radiation until we can safely release it outside the nebula. There was silence, then Minho's voice came through. It's possible, Captain, but extremely dangerous. We'd have less than 10 minutes to clear the nebula before our shields fail completely. Then we'd better work quickly, said Captain Kim. Begin preparations immediately. He turned to the Vicarians. We're going to transfer your unstable power core to our ship. Meanwhile, we need to get all of you to our medical bay as fast as possible. First Officer Nilara stepped forward. You would risk your ship and crew for us. Why? Because that's what humans do, said Lieutenant Lee. We help people in trouble, even if they're not like us. As the rescue teams continued to move the injured Vicarians to the shuttles, Captain Kim organized a second team to help Engineer Minho with the dangerous power core transfer. Officer Day's voice came through the communicator. Captain, I've analyzed the Vicarian power core. It's leaking radiation much faster now. We have maybe 30 minutes before it reaches critical levels. Understood, said Captain Kim. We're moving as fast as we can. Some of the Vicarians began helping the humans. They showed them how to safely disconnect the power core from their systems. Others helped carry their injured friends. Captain Silaris watched from his stretcher as humans and Vicarians worked together. His face showed confusion. This is not what we were told about humans, he said quietly. Don't believe everything you hear, said Captain Kim as he helped carry the Vicarian leader to a shuttle. As the last group of survivors boarded the shuttles, a loud groaning sound came from the ship around them. The walls shook. The ship is breaking up, shouted Ju-Woo from the pilot's seat. We need to leave now. With the last Vicarian safely on board, the shuttles detached from the dying ship and raced back toward the Endeavor *. Behind them, the beautiful Vicarian vessel began to split apart in the colorful gases of the nebula. On the main shuttle, Captain Silaris looked back at his destroyed ship. Then he turned to Captain Kim. I still do not understand, he said. We have called your species violent, primitive, dangerous. We have blocked you from joining the Concorde. Yet you risk your lives for us. Captain Kim met his gaze. Perhaps after today, you'll understand us a little better. The shuttles approached the Endeavor *, where Engineer Minho and his team waited to attempt the most dangerous part of the rescue, transferring an unstable alien power core to their own ship. And time was running out. The shuttles docked with the Endeavor *, and the rescue teams quickly moved the injured Vicarians to the medical bay. Dr. Sun Choi and her team worked fast to set up special breathing equipment for the aliens. Their air needs are different from ours, she explained to her team. They need more nitrogen and less oxygen. Adjust the settings on each bed. Captain Kim went straight to the bridge. Status report, he ordered as he sat in his command chair. The Vicarian power core is becoming more unstable, said Officer Da. Engineer Minho is preparing for the transfer now. Lieutenant Lee looked at her screen. We have 28 minutes before the core reaches critical levels. Our shields are at 41% and falling because of the nebula radiation. Captain Kim made a quick decision. All non-essential personnel should move to the escape pods. If something goes wrong, I want as many people safe as possible. Sir, said Lieutenant Lee, the crew won't want to leave. This isn't a vote, said Captain Kim firmly. It's an order. In the cargo bay, Engineer Minho and his team prepared for the dangerous transfer. They set up special containment fields to hold the Vicarian power core. The transfer will take about 6 minutes, Minho explained over the communicator. During that time, the core will be exposed. The radiation will be very high. Understood, said Captain Kim. Begin when ready. The shuttles flew back to the broken Vicarian ship. Using special equipment, they carefully removed the unstable power core. It glowed with a bright blue light. Slowly, very slowly, they brought it back to the Endeavour *. In the medical bay, Dr. Sun worked to save the most badly injured Vicarians. At first, the aliens were afraid to let her touch them, but as they saw her saving lives, they began to help. One Vicarian medical officer named Elerix watched as Sun treated a badly burned crew member. Why risk yourselves for us? Elerix asked. Your species gains nothing. Dr. Sun didn't look up from her patient. Because that's what being human means, she said simply. On the bridge, tension was high as everyone watched the shuttles approach with their dangerous cargo. Core radiation has increased by 200%, reported Officer Da. It's becoming more unstable by the minute. The Endeavour pushed its engines to maximum speed, trying to get out of the nebula before the radiation could damage the ship, but the thick gases made it difficult to move quickly. Shuttle 1 has reached the cargo bay, reported Officer Hannah. Beginning power core transfer now. Everyone held their breath. This was the most dangerous part. If the core exploded during transfer, the whole ship would be destroyed. Transfer at 20%, reported Engineer Minho through the communicator. So far, so good. In the cargo bay, the team worked with extreme care. The glowing blue core was lowered slowly into the containment field. Transfer at 50%, said Minho. Core radiation is very high. Everyone stay behind the shields. On the bridge, Captain Kim watched the readings with concern. How are our shields holding? He asked. Shields at 28% and falling, said Lieutenant Lee. We can't outrun the radiation at our current speed. Just then, Engineer Minho's voice came through, sounding worried. Captain, we have a problem. The containment field is weakening faster than expected. We need to manually recalibrate the emitters on the cargo deck. Everyone on the bridge understood what that meant. Whoever did this job would be exposed to lethal levels of radiation. I'll go, said Captain Kim, standing up. Lieutenant Lee blocked his path. Permission to take this task myself. Sir. Denied, said Captain Kim firmly. A new voice spoke up from the back of the bridge. It was Captain Silaris, the Vicarian leader. He stood in the doorway, supported by 2 human crew members. His injuries were wrapped in bandages, but he looked stronger than before. You risk extinction to save those who would not do the same for you, Silaris said. Why? Captain Kim looked directly at him. Because we judge ourselves by our actions, not yours. Before anyone could react, Officer Hannah jumped up from her communication station and ran toward the elevator. Buying us time to prove ourselves is worth any price, she called back. Get these people home, Captain. The elevator doors closed behind her. Captain Kim immediately called to the whole ship. All hands, this is the captain. Prepare for emergency acceleration on my mark. Seconds later, Hannah's voice came through the speakers. She sounded tired but determined. Recalibration complete, Captain. Containment field is holding at 47% and stable. You have 18 minutes to clear the nebula. As the Endeavour increased speed, pushing hard to escape the nebula, Officer Dye watched his screen with a sad face. "Captain," he said quietly, "I'm detecting high radiation exposure in Cargo Section B. Officer Park's life signs are failing." The bridge crew stood in silence. "She knew the risk," said Captain Kim softly, "but she went anyway." Captain Silaris moved slowly to stand beside the human captain. "Your officer sacrificed herself for enemies." "For people in need," Captain Kim corrected. The Vicarian captain lowered his head in a gesture that showed deep respect. "Transfer complete," reported Engineer Minho. "Core is secure in containment, but the field won't hold for long." "Time to clear the nebula?" asked Captain Kim. 16 minutes at current speed," said Lieutenant Lee. "It will be close." "Divert all power to engines," ordered Captain Kim. "We need more speed." In the medical bay, Dr. Sun felt the ship accelerate. She held onto a bed to keep her balance. "What's happening?" asked Ilyrix, the Vicarian medical officer. "We're trying to get out of the nebula before the core explodes or our shields fail," explained Sun. "Either one would be bad." "And the recalibration that just happened, what was that?" asked Ilyrix. Sun looked at the alien with sad eyes. "Someone just gave their life to save us all." Ilyrix's expression changed. For the first time, the alien looked at the human with something close to respect. On the bridge, the tension grew as the ship raced through the colorful gases. Everyone watched the countdown timer on the main screen. "Shields at 19%, reported Lieutenant Lee. "Core containment at 42%. "Time to clear the nebula." 12 minutes, said Officer Da. "Not fast enough," muttered Captain Kim. "We need more speed." Engineer Minho's voice came through again. "Captain, I can give you more power, but it means shutting down life support on the lower decks." "Do it," said Captain Kim without hesitation. "Have all personnel move up to decks 1 through 3. "Yes, sir." The Endeavour surged forward, pushing harder through the nebula. The ship shook with the effort. "Shields at 14%, said Lieutenant Lee. "Time to clear nebula." 9 minutes. In Cargo Section B, Officer Hannah Park lay on the floor. She had been exposed to too much radiation. She knew she was dying, but she could see through a small window that the ship was moving faster now. They might make it. She smiled weakly and whispered, "Worth it." On the bridge, the crew watched as the edge of the nebula came into view on the main screen. 5 minutes to clear the nebula, reported Officer Da. "Shields at 9%. Core containment at 31% and falling," added Lieutenant Lee. "It's going to be very close." Captain Silaris watched the humans work. They moved quickly, efficiently, all working together to save the ship. A ship now carrying both humans and Vicarians. "Your people are not what I expected," he said to Captain Kim. "We get that a lot," replied Kim with a small smile. 4 minutes to nebula edge, announced Officer Da. "Wait, I'm picking up something." 3 Vicarian warships are approaching from the other side of the nebula. "They must have picked up our distress call," said Silaris. "They will see your ship and assume you attacked us." "Can you contact them?" asked Captain Kim urgently. "Tell them what really happened." Silaris nodded. "I will try." With help from Officer Day, the Vicarian captain sent a message to the approaching warships. His voice was firm as he spoke in his own language. 3 minutes to nebula edge, reported Lieutenant Lee. "Shields at 6%. 1 minute to core containment failure," added Engineer Minho's voice. The Endeavour pushed forward with all its power. The edge of the nebula grew closer. 2 minutes, 1 minute, counted Officer Da. Everyone held their breath. "Clearing nebula now," shouted Lieutenant Lee. As soon as they were in clear space, Captain Kim ordered, "Eject the core. Get it as far away as possible." The unstable Vicarian power core was launched from the cargo bay. It flew away from the ship quickly. "Core ejected," confirmed Engineer Minho. Detonation in 30 seconds. Shields to maximum rear, ordered Captain Kim. Brace for impact. The core exploded in a brilliant flash of blue light. The shock wave hit the Endeavour hard, making the ship shake violently. But they were far enough away to survive. Damage report, called Captain Kim when the shaking stopped. Minor damage to rear sections, reported Lieutenant Lee. But we made it. A cheer went up from the bridge crew, but it didn't last long. Sir, said Officer Day, the Vicarian warships are surrounding us. They're charging weapons. The screen showed 3 large alien ships moving into position around the Endeavour. Their weapons were aimed directly at the human vessel. Captain Kim looked at Solaris. Did they receive your message? The Vicarian captain nodded slowly. They did, but they may not believe it. Captain Kim straightened in his chair. Open a channel to the Vicarian ships. Officer Dai worked his controls. Channel open, sir. Captain Kim spoke clearly and calmly. This is Captain Ta-Won Kim of the Earth Alliance ship Endeavour. We responded to a distress call from the Celestial Harmony. We have rescued 47 survivors, including Captain Solaris. We come in peace. There was a long silence. Then a voice responded in heavily accented English. Human vessel. Prepare to be boarded. The Endeavour hung in space, surrounded by 3 large Vicarian warships. Their weapons were pointed at the human ship, ready to fire. Human vessel. Prepare to be boarded, the Vicarian commander had said. Captain Kim looked at his tired crew. They had just saved 47 Vicarians. They had lost Officer Hannah Park. And now they faced possible destruction. We will allow them to board, he told his crew. No weapons. We have nothing to hide. Captain Solaris stood next to Kim. The Vicarian was still weak from his injuries, but he insisted on being present. I will meet them with you, Solaris said. They will listen to me. 20 minutes later, 10 Vicarian soldiers transported onto the Endeavour. They wore shiny armor and carried large weapons. Their leader stepped forward, his 4 arms ready for action. I am Commander Toller of the Vicarian Defense Force, he said in rough English. You are accused of attacking a Vicarian vessel and entering forbidden space. Captain Kim stepped forward. I am Captain Ta-Won Kim. We responded to a distress call from the Celestial Harmony. We have broken no laws of space. Lies, said Commander Toller. Humans have always wanted our technology. You attacked the ship to steal it. Before Captain Kim could answer, Captain Solaris moved forward. Commander, it is good to see you. As you can see, I am very much alive, thanks to these humans. Commander Toller looked surprised. Captain Solaris, we received your message, but we thought the humans forced you to send it. No one forces me to do anything, Commander, said Solaris with dignity. The humans saved us when our ship was damaged by the nebula storm. They risked their lives for ours. Commander Toller looked confused. But humans are our enemies. Are they? Asked Solaris. Look around you. Look at their medical bay, where our people are being treated. Look at the damage to their ship, caused by saving us. One of their officers died to save us all. Commander Toller lowered his weapon slightly. I must report to High Command. Do so, said Captain Kim calmly. We will wait. For the next 2 hours, the Endeavour remained surrounded by the Vicarian ships. The Vicarian soldiers stayed on board, but no longer pointed their weapons at the humans. Some even helped with the injured. In the medical bay, Dr. Sun continued to treat the Vicarians. Alarix, the Vicarian medical officer, worked beside her. Your methods are different, Alarix said, but effective. Sun smiled tiredly. We do our best. The officer who died, Alarix said quietly. Who was she? Her name was Hannah Park, said Sun. She was young, smart, kind. She loved to study languages. She will be remembered, promised Elarix, by Vicarians as well as humans. On the bridge, Commander Toller returned with news. I have spoken with High Command. They wish to speak with both captains. A large screen lit up, showing an older Vicarian with pale blue skin. She wore formal robes with many decorations. I am Elder Moraleth of the Vicarian High Council, she said. Her voice was strong and clear. Captain Kim bowed respectfully. I am Captain Ta-Won Kim of the Earth Alliance ship Endeavor *. Captain Kim, said Elder Moraleth, you violated Vicarian space. This is a serious offense. We responded to a distress call, said Captain Kim simply. We would do the same for any ship in trouble, even knowing it might lead to war between our peoples, asked the elder. Some things are more important than politics, replied Kim. Lives were at stake. Elder Moraleth studied him for a long moment. Then she turned to Celeris. Captain, tell me what happened. All of it. Captain Celeris told the story from the beginning. He described the nebula storm that damaged their ship, the distress call they sent out, the humans arriving to help even after being told to stay away, the dangerous rescue, the transfer of the unstable core, and most of all, Officer Hannah Park's sacrifice. She gave her life for us. Celeris finished. For people who have only shown hatred toward her kind. The elder was silent for a long time. Finally, she spoke. Captain Kim, your ship and crew will be escorted to the edge of human space. You will not be harmed. Thank you, Elder, said Captain Kim with a slight bow. This is not the end of this matter, continued Elder Moraleth, but it is enough for now. The Vicarian people do not forget debts. The screen went dark. Commander Toller turned to Captain Kim. We will escort you as ordered. Our medical ship will arrive soon to take our people home. They are welcome to stay until they are fully recovered, offered Captain Kim. Thank you, but High Command has decided, said Toller, but his voice was softer now. 3 days later, the Endeavor reached the edge of human space. The Vicarian warships prepared to turn back. All the injured Vicarians had been transferred to their medical ship. Before leaving, Captain Celeris came to the bridge one last time. He walked better now, though he still moved carefully. Captain Kim, he said, my people have long believed that humans were too violent, too unpredictable to join galactic society. And now, asked Kim. Now I wonder if the galaxy needs more of your unpredictability, said Celeris, more of your willingness to help, even at great cost. He held out one of his 4 hands. Captain Kim shook it. Until we meet again, said Celeris. Then he was gone. The Endeavor continued home alone. The mood on the ship was mixed. They had saved many lives, but they had lost one of their own. No one knew what would happen when they reached Earth. Would they be punished for entering Vicarian space, or celebrated for saving the aliens? 1 week later, the Endeavor arrived at Earth. To everyone's surprise, they were met by a large group of officials. Admiral Chen, the head of Earth Alliance Fleet, came aboard personally. Captain Kim, he said formally, you and your crew are to report to Alliance headquarters immediately. Captain Kim nodded. He had expected this. Yes, Admiral. But when they reached the headquarters building, they were not taken to a courtroom or a prison. Instead, they were led to the grand meeting hall. It was filled with people from many countries, and standing at the front was Elder Moraleth of the Vicarian High Council. Captain Ta-Won Kim, she said, her voice echoing in the large room. Step forward. Captain Kim did so, his face calm. 3 weeks ago, your ship violated Vicarian space, said Elder Moraleth. This act alone should have led to severe punishment. The room was very quiet. But, continued the elder, you did so to answer a call for help. You risked your ship, your crew, and your own life to save 47 Vicarians who had shown your species nothing but contempt. She stepped closer to him. Most importantly, your communications officer gave her life to save both human and Vicarian lives. Officer Hannah Park's final words have been shared throughout the Galactic Concord. A recording played throughout the hall, Hannah's voice, calm despite her knowing she would die. Buying us time to prove ourselves is worth any price. Elder Marileth straightened her tall body. Captain Kim, the Galactic Concord extends a formal invitation for Earth to join our assembly, not as a new member on trial, but as a full partner. Your species has shown us something rare, the willingness to help others no matter the cost to yourselves. The room erupted in cheers and applause. People hugged each other. Some cried. After decades of being kept out of the Galactic Concord, humans were finally being accepted. 3 months later, a grand ceremony was held. Millions watched around the world as humanity officially joined the interstellar community. The families of the Endeavor's crew were honored guests, including Hannah Park's parents. Captain Kim, now Admiral Kim, gave a short speech. Officer Park once told me that humanity's greatest strength wasn't our technology or our ability to adapt. It was our stubborn insistence on doing what's right, even when it's difficult. Today proves she was correct. He looked out at the crowd of humans and aliens. The Galactic Concord called us primitive for many years. But when the real call came, a cry for help from the darkness, humanity answered without hesitation. That call revealed our true nature to the galaxy. He smiled sadly. And the stars will never be the same. At the back of the hall, Captain Solaris stood with First Officer Nilara and Medical Officer Ilarix. They each wore a small pin showing Earth next to their own home planet. "Do you think the humans will change us?" asked Nilara. "I hope so," replied Solaris. "I truly hope so." In the stars above, a new era had begun. An era where the most important call any species could make wasn't for power or territory, but for help. And humanity had shown the galaxy that this was a call they would always answer.